members out of around 100 are going to be on this call. So that's how many registered for it. And man, if you guys know groups, that's pretty incredible, and we're very proud of that. So I'm sorry you can't see my handsome face. This is Tim Rowe talking. I put on some goo on my hair, and it looking all good and stuff. But if I did show you my handsome mug, then you wouldn't hear my voice because the audio isn't as good. So Pat Hyben, we have some people on this call that were at Tahoe. We have some people on this call that weren't at Tahoe. Let's touch base with the people that weren't at Tahoe. What were the best things in your mind that came out of our Tahoe Adventure Mastermind last month?
Well, you know, it was an incredible experience. It was an incredible experience, and I think I would like to get these answers from.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
So I think everybody just logged in, by the way, Tim. I don't think anyone heard you. It just said the broadcast is now starting. So without further ado, let's get Gary Jonas on the line. Gary, so what have you been up to in the last 30 days since Tahoe?
I have been up to a lot since the last 30 days since Tahoe. I have a great accountability group that we put together from Tahoe. And so that group has been kind of pushing us. And so two big things. One of the major things that I took away from the Tahoe event was that I should have 5 or 6 guys that are bringing in streams of revenue for me. And I should have 5 or 6 guys. In my mind, what I walked away with as a starting point is I want 5 or 6 guys that are making me $1 million. And so I felt like I had 4 of those businesses already started, and I needed a 5th one. And so we hired a guy that we think is super talented to start that 5th business for us. And so that is the thing that I'm most excited about, because we preach the horizontal income, and this falls into that category, and we think it's an underserved business and one that we can really do well. And it's a high-end remodeling business, which my buddy Matt does as well. And so we hired that person. We got that started.
Wow.
That was one of my 5 things that was on my accountability list. So I'm fired up about that. That's my
great.
biggest takeaway.
I know that's what one of the things David Osborne does is, he knows if he has 5 people making $1 million, that he's going to make at least $1 million off of each one, which equals $5 million or more. And one of the things Gary Keller always says is, if you have one goal every year, it would be to put someone else in your life, in your business world, that's going to change your life. And Mark Swagger is key at that. Every year he thinks about, who can I add to my payroll business that will change my life? And for the last couple of years, he's added some key people. I'm talking about, 6-figure plus people to his business that have actually opened up new divisions and created a whole new streams of revenue in his current business each and every year for the last couple of years. And it's a great way to think. And obviously that's what you're doing. So I commend you on that. Now, how's the Pennsylvania group? How many members are you up to now in your local mastermind?
So I think we actually scaled our group back slightly, but we added, some of the key elements that we came up with in Tahoe, where we just had a recent event where we went out and we had a competitive like dodgeball tournament where it was great and everybody got all fired up and we had some fun, and then we did some mastermind and afterwards. So similar to the ultimate frisbee and that kind of stuff, it was a chance to get out and do something physical and then mastermind. So it was great. I think that's a good format for us, as we kind of agreed that every month somebody's going to take on the job of planning something fun like that, and then we'll mastermind afterwards. So we're getting a lot more momentum with stuff that's more in line with the national group is doing.
That's great, and we definitely, the Maryland, DC, Virginia group wants to challenge these weaklings in Pennsylvania.
Well, let me tell you this: we're in. Tell me when and where. We'll be there.
All right, sounds good. Matt, what's up, buddy? How you been since Tahoe?
I've been on fire, man. really, so Jonas kind of mentioned a little bit about the accountability group, and the accountability piece has been the biggest, I would say, linchpin for me taking action on a lot of these things. The bond being the word, I've been putting some things out there that have really forced me to take action on. So on my 100-day goal list that we sat down and did, I'm right on par and beyond where I should be at, at least from 30 days. So I closed on, my biggest takeaway was, and I loved what Gary said in regards to, kind of David's insight. Mine was seeing how many people were standing after the 5 million plus net worth, the 10 million plus net worth, the 15 million. It was mainly people with multifamily properties, a lot of doors. And so my biggest thing was I need more doors, I need more passive income. And that was already part of my goals, but I knew immediately I was going to go take some action on it. So I already closed on Friday on a new triplex that I added to my portfolio. So I'm pumped about that. And actually, Gary has been helping me negotiate on an 8-unit that I still have in the mix right now that I'm looking to purchase as well. So my thing was adding some doors to my portfolio. I wanted to take some date nights with my fiance and I because with the new baby, we just weren't making time for that. We were reworking what our relationship looked like. And I didn't want everything just to be business oriented. I really wanted to come home and kind of show her that I was on fire, not only in those other places, but that I was committed to our relationship. So we've been going, instead of one date night a week, we've been actually doing date lunch during the week, and we've been doing one date night, and that has been awesome. So that's been great. I've also committed to the couples retreat with her and I. I volunteered twice this month, which was on my list for the last quarter, and I didn't do it at all. I went out and volunteered twice with 2 charities, and I've made some great connections to plug into a few others. So that's been real fun to do that. That genuine contribution bucket has kind of, in my opinion, been my last and most neglected bucket. And obviously I'm on the board with One Life, but it was more getting out actively in my own community too that I really found I was getting a lot of enjoyment out of. So that was cool. And also just being on this accountability group with Gary and Dan Grieve and Daniel Hamel. We've got, just a great group, Adam Babinow, that has really projected me forward. So I've just been staying focused on my accountability with my group and not letting my guys down, and it's been paying dividends for me hitting my goals.
That's great. Now, is this your table that you're keeping in touch with here?
No, actually, this wasn't my table. This was just guys that I connected with, had some really great conversations with, and said, hey, how do we keep this going moving forward? I've had probably 20 plus calls with different Gobundance guys since Tahoe, and that's been cool connecting with a lot of different people. And then there was that select group that I said, you had a significant impact on me. I want to stay connected. How do we make that happen? And I was fortunate enough to get pulled into their group, and these guys are animals with accountability and emailing back 10, 15 times a day. It's been really cool to see that group within the group, and then obviously there's the local mastermind groups in the regions as well. But that's the accountability piece has just been a game changer for me.
Yeah, so it seems like the common thread, whether it's masterminding, whether it's date nights and all this, the common thread that runs through all of our goals that makes this work is accountability.
You said it, man. I mean, since day one, Pat, there were times where I was like, damn, this guy's being an ass, man. He's calling me out on my crap. And then after a while, you're like, well, that's what he's supposed to do if he really cares about me doing what I say I'm going to do. And these guys call me out on my crap. And now I don't really have to get called out on my crap because I know I'm going to have to answer to them. So the accountability piece has just been, it's been, not only has it trickled down to me, but it's trickled down to my businesses. It's trickled down to my relationships with friends. And so it's kind of cool to see the ripple effect that when you commit to this level of accountability, now you're starting to see it implemented in other areas of your life, and people appreciate it. And so it's kind of cool. And the people who don't appreciate it are somewhat kind of the people that I've been looking to edit out of my peer group anyway. So it gives me a reason to push them out.
Wow. Well, that's great. That's good. Kudos on both of you guys for basically taking this to the next level, which is the level that we want it to go to. And you guys are shining examples, and I really appreciate you sharing what you've been up to since Tahoe with us. And I can't wait to see what continues to happen in the future. So with that, I'm gonna reel it back to Tim Rode. Tim, why don't you share with us what's coming in the future with our future events and so forth?
Hey, but before we go forward, I'd love to go back with these guys and also hear from you, Pat. Not all of our attendees were at Tahoe. And if you were at Tahoe, you're aware we had less than stellar snow conditions. And I think in our Gobundance fashion, we did an incredible job of making the most of what we had. And I'd love to hear from you guys. What were your favorite things about Tahoe? Let's start with you, Pat Hyden, and then Matt, and then Garrett.
Oh boy, where do you start? But of course, the time with Kiyosaki, I think, was very special to me. He's been a mentor of mine for a couple of decades, and I really never thought that I'd actually get to meet him and even spend some intimate time with him. I never really, thought that was possible. And thanks to you, Tim, you helped set all that up. You made a dream come true. I would say that was my number one highlight. Another highlight was just seeing everybody network so well. I think sometimes when you bring people together, for instance, I think I had about 17 guests there, and there's always concern: are they going to want to just talk to me? Are they not going to meet anybody? Are they not going to fit in? Are they not going to get it? And I would just look around the room and see everybody meeting new people and talking to new people. And when I would catch them afterwards, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I met this dude, I met this guy, and he's a great guy, and this guy's a great guy, and I'm going to play golf with this guy, and I'm going to," and everybody was like, almost like brothers from another mother, almost, or brothers from the same mother who had never met, were separated at birth, and then they came back together. It was like everybody clicked, and you had 20 guys going snowmobiling, and more than half of them didn't know each other, and here they are picking each other up after they roll in their snowmobile or whatever, just having fun, and that was great. I know the broom ball was incredible. The way that we just did things together, whether it be the fitness contest, the yoga, everything we did. There's so much that we did, but it was all perfect.
Well said, Pat. How about you, Matt?
Well, you know me, I'm a competitive guy, so I loved, all of the outdoor activities that we got to do as a group. I think there was really a common thread through this entire event for me, and that was not only that everybody's extremely sharp in business, but there were a lot of guys there that just came from good hearts, and their willingness to be transparent and open and share, like Pat said, really allowed for some real deep kind of relationships and bonds to be built in a really short amount of time, especially when you're that vulnerable. I think it creates a great space for, building lasting friendships. So for me, it was amazing friendships built in a short amount of time, and all of the physical activities that we got to do, besides the bruised tailbone that I had for weeks after Schweiger checking me on the ice with broom ball. I loved that. I didn't get to play that ever, so that was a new experience for me. Obviously, our ultimate frisbee, seeing the way guys get competitive, and some of the dudes that you really wouldn't think are that athletic. I mean, Rick Bossel was the freaking dark horse of ultimate frisbee, just chucking a frisbee across an entire football field, basically. And just seeing the way the groups really kind of build chemistry, it was just fun to see the bonds being created in the physical activities. And in competition, you see that that kind of bond formulate a little bit faster. But it wasn't just in the physical side of things. Like in the networking events, there was some really cool stuff learning from Kiyosaki, and loved what John DeVores shared with kind of his outlook on fear and channeling fear to propel you to new extremes and flow. So for me, I mean, the entire event from start to finish was epic. And at the end of the day, I mean, the events are what you make them. So the way you plug in is really what you end up getting out of it. And everybody that I met was plugged in and turned up on 10. And that's what made my experience a 10.
Well said, Matt. Hey, by the way, that Rick Bossel, he's a ringer. Been playing intimate for like 30 years. So
I kept him good, man. I got him on my team when I saw him chuck that frisbee.
Yeah, good move. Gary Jonas, how about you? Things in Tahoe?
So I would, it's tough to go after those two guys because everything they said is pretty much right on. But I will tell you, it's just amazing the quality of the people that are at the event. So I get there the first day, I'm walking back to my hotel room, and I know like 4 guys that are going to be at the event. And this guy's walking out, he's talking to somebody else, and he says, I'm getting ready to go for a run. And I go, how you going for a run? I'll go for a run with you. So I start running with the guy every morning, right? I come back, the guy finally joined, like, I get this announcement when we're home that says, oh, by the way, Chad Goldwasser, and I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right, is now a member of Gobundance. Well, Chad was the number 1 agent for Keller Williams, right, in the country for a year or 2 years. And I'm talking to that guy every day, getting 45 minutes of advice from him when I'm running. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you get out of this event that just you don't have access to anywhere else. So I got this great accountability group that I get to meet with again and see in person and really spend time with. I get to do all this physical stuff and all the shit talking and all the stuff that I want to do with guys that are competitive. And then everywhere I turn, the people I'm hanging out with and meeting are just unbelievably successful people that can help me in a million ways. I don't know how to express what a great environment that is to be in. And, when I left, I'm like, I can't believe it. Like, I can't wait to go home and tell people, like, these are the kind of people we're hanging out with. It's unbelievable.
That's great, Gary. It's really interesting because I'm one of the founders, and sometimes I get a little insecure because people there selling $36 million apartment complexes and stuff like that, and you start to question, am I worthy of being in this group? And I think that's one of the wonderful things about Gobundance is it's bigger than us. And you feel like you're a part of something that's bigger than you, and you damn well better hold up your end. So the next time you see these guys, you can say, hey, I was going to do these 5 things, and I kicked butt on 4 of them, and one of them I'm struggling a bit. But, for the most part, I'm playing my game full out. And I think that's one of the beauties. It started with David, Pat, and I. That's what we did for each other. And then as it's grown, it's kept that vibe. And that's one of the things I love best about Gobundance is it's a feeling bigger than you, and it makes you play your game bigger. So.
And the cool thing is, Tim, everybody's game, everybody plays big in some area. So just for example, I had been wanting to break into multifamily units, and really that was a beast where I was somewhat intimidated of it. I've been in real estate, I've been flipping houses, I've been running a real estate team, but I really didn't know how to break into this commercial big space of multifamily. And I had the opportunity to sit down with Gary, and the dude blew my mind in 10 minutes more than I've talked and sought out of any book that I've ever tried to read. And then on top of that, I get to be in his accountability group every week. And then on top of that, I get to help mastermind with him on sharing all of my flipper and mailing campaigns. So it's cool to see that your weakness is definitely someone else's strength in the group, and the network is so deep that the value that you can provide is equally appreciated for the value that you're getting.
Wonderfully well said.
I second that too, because I'm super excited about using some of the stuff that Matt has and putting that together. And, you know, it's amazing that all the things I want to learn, he knows, and all the things that he wants to learn, I know. And so it's like, it couldn't be better. It was like the universe conspired to help us out.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. That's just awesome. That is GoBundance in a nutshell right there, you guys. Where you're weak, you take from others, and where you're strong, you give back to the community. And that's just one of the wonderful things about GoBundance. Hey, Pat, do you have anything to add before we move on to trips?
No, that pretty much covered it, Tim.
So here's the thing, guys. If this was your first event, Tahoe, our big events are wonderful, but smaller events, more boutique events, is where the magic really happens. And I think Matt can attest to this. He's been to Steamboat. He's been to he went to Austria, Germany with us. And before I get into the events, do you want to touch to what I just said, Matt Aitchison?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, Tahoe was more, I would say, of a conference setting, right? Some of these boutique events are like you said, where you're able to sit down with guys and see the experiences that you're sharing in a very intimate setting, allow you to peel layer after layer after layer back. So I would say both of them bring something different to the table, and yet when you're able to share experience after experience, day in and day out, with a core group of people, that's where I really felt that, you know, I got to bond with Pat and learn about his family and his daughters, and got to share about my family. And you can do that when you're in the conference setting too, but I don't think to the level that the smaller intimate groups offer. And so that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about Steamboat and Austria and those kind of experiences with you guys.
Cool. So if you will, Eric, why don't you put up the trips for 2015, and we're going to roll through them and let you know what's available. And I think you guys are really going to be excited about what we have coming for you. So if you look at this list, we are right now on this April 14th 30-day Tahoe follow-up. That's where we are right now. We are going to be in May doing a monthly member accountability teleseminar with David Osborne and Pat Hyven. And that'll be a lot more into one sheets. We'll have examples on there. We'll go a lot deeper, kind of like when we had David, when we picked him apart with his one sheet on stage. That's what you can expect for that event, okay? So next up is our One Life Fully Lived conference. One Life Fully Lived is the GoBundance charity of choice, if you will. We're all doing different things within our community, which is wonderful. If GoBundance is a master's in life, we've all pretty much, I'm not going to say we have life down, but we're doing a good job of living a full life. One Life Fully Lived is us helping our brothers and sisters who are not quite up to, you know, the same level of life mastery find their best life. So if you want more information, I talked about it at the conference. If you weren't at Tahoe, go to onelifefullylive.org, and we'd love to have you come. All of the elders will be at Philadelphia, and many of our members will be presenting them. And to top it off, May 18th, the day after the One Life Fully Lived conference, we're going to have our first annual Abundance Family Picnic at Mike McCarthy's house. And this is in the afternoon. All of the others will be here with our families. We invite you here, and we're going to have a wonderful day at Mike's house, just hanging out, getting to know each other, and just yakking. So I think that'll be a special event. The next event after that, Pat, I believe, got this gentleman. He's the 1-800 Junk Man. His name's Cameron Harold. Do you know? Could you tell us more about him, Pat?
Sure. If you've ever heard of the company 1-800-GOT-JUNK, there you go. Thank you, Matt. Cameron Harold was responsible for the growth of 1-800-GOT-JUNK. He's the founder of the company. Basically, he took it to, you know, a nothing, zero, you know, idea to a massive amounts all over North America. I mean, they're all over Canada, all over the United States. Brilliant idea. I'm sure 1-800-GOT-JUNK is in your area, and he did that with several other companies, student painters, I believe, one of those painting companies, and a couple, and one more company. So he basically created double. Had to double everything in 3 years, and that's our book. Everybody should have that book. If you haven't got it, you better check your Amazon Droid, because it hasn't dropped it off on your thing. It should be somewhere. Your neighbor stole it from you. But and we have him. He's going to be on the webinar himself. He lives in outside of Vancouver, Canada, and he has been so gracious to spend time with us and have a Q&A with him on the 27th.
So what we do for you newer members, like every quarter, we try to get a famous author. We've had Simon Sinek. We're working on Stephen Kotler, and we got some other surprises coming up for you. But we try to, so we all read the same books, and then we try and get the author on. Or if we can't get the author, we might have an expert in that field on. So that's one of the perks of being a Gobundance member. And so make darn sure you read the book before the seminar, so it makes more sense to you. The next item on the list, this is a classic small event. It's a Mount Lassen hike, ski, camp adventure. I'll be leading this. Mount Lassen, it's the last active volcano besides Mount St. Helens to blow in the United States. This is almost 100 years to the day of when it blew. We're going to be there, and we're going to spend a couple nights there camping out under the fire. We're going to have all of our meals catered for us, and all we do is hike, ski, swim, mastermind, and listen to my good friend Al Ramadan, who from Play Bigger Advisors. He's Chris Lockhead's partner. He's going to be doing a session there. David Osborne's, I got to be honest with you, he hasn't firmly committed to me. He's probably 60-40 coming. Mike McCarthy's coming, and I'll be there. We'll be going over our one sheets. We'll be talking mastermind, and then we're going to be camping, sitting around the campfire, just talking about life. This trip is $1,000 for members. You get yourself there. We share the cost of food. It's going to be about $200 for the food, so it's about $1,200 for members and $2,200 for non-members. One more thing about this trip. On day 2, I have a professional guide coming. He's going to lead us climbing up the steep north face of this mountain, and he's going to teach us mountaineering skills, how if you're sliding down a hill going 50 miles an hour, how to stop yourself so you'll live. And a lot of that's called self-arrest. A lot of mountaineering skills, because next year we're getting a team of us and we're going to climb and ski and camp out on Mount Shasta. So this is a precursor for Mount Shasta. And if you have any interest in that trip, or any of these trips, one, give a hold of Heather and say, hey, I have an interest in this trip. And 2, if you want to send me an email with any questions on the ones that I'm involved with. And all of these are first come, first serve. This one, as an example, I think we have 3 spots left. Okay. The next trip on the list is a small trip, and this is the Southern California Mastermind Group is having a surf, road bike, and hanging out at the beach. I think we're having a barbecue picnic on the beach that night, and same thing, just going over our goals and stuff like that. And then on July 6th, we're going to frame, it's a steamboat, but that's actually in Denver. And that Denver trip, just so you know, is going to be a great one. We'll all be meeting at in Denver, going to the Colorado Rockies game on July 12th in a private suite in the outfield there. We'll be playing ultimate frisbee, lots of masterminding, staying at a new hotel near the stadium in downtown Denver. We're going to be going, and this is on my bucket list, to a concert at Red Rocks with the band Death Cab for Cutie, which is an awesome band. And we're also going to be hiking a 14,000 foot peak. And if you don't want to do that, you could also golf or ride on this alpine slide. I don't know a lot about that, but those are the options if you don't feel like hiking the 14,000 foot peak. And the best thing about this trip, just like the barbecue at McCarthy's house, is this is a family included trip. When we do the masterminding piece, yes, that will be Gobundance only, but your family's welcome to hang out in Denver, go to the concert, go to the ball game, climb the 14,000 foot peak. We're really trying to become as family friendly as we possibly can, and this trip is a great representation of that. The next trip on the list is kite surfing in the Dominican Republic, and we moved it actually from Kitty Hawk. This place that we found is so exceptional. It's a kite surfing extravaganza in the lagoon blue ocean of the Caribbean in the Dominican Republic, and that will be from the 30th of July to the 3rd of August. The cost for that trip is $29.95 member and $39.95 non-member. We'll be staying at an all-exclusive resort, eating organic food, doing yoga, meditation, and upscale spa. There's a room for 12 people there. And the first 5 get ocean views. So if you're interested in that, you want to get with Heather right away. And that $29.95 is all inclusive except for your flights. And then the next thing we'll have is a teleseminar with Pat Hyman, pre-framing our Machu Picchu trip. And then we'll have a teleseminar on accountability with Hyman and Osborne on August 24th. And then I know a number of you on this call will be joining us in Machu Picchu. This is our annual international adventure. Aitchison, sounds like you're going on that. Can you tell a little bit more? That's sold out, right? Anything else?
Yeah, so we have 16 people that have trail passes that it's locked up solid. We had some people show interest after the actual trail sold out, and we have set up another trip that is on the same exact dates, where if you're interested, you'll be you're hanging out with us while we're basically for everything. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to have a give back day where we're going into a small village and helping out the villagers all day with the project. We're going to do some mountain bike riding, various things. But the way it's different from the 16 of us is that for 3 days, you will be traveling up a different trail. It's kind of it's just the back trail, and then we would meet you on top of the mountain. So for 3 days, you'd be separated from the 16 of us. There is one person, Pat Cullinane, who has signed up for that, but he does not want to go by himself. So if you're interested in going, please join Pat, because he's not interested. He really doesn't want to be hanging around with a bunch of Peruvians that he doesn't know, or randoms that he doesn't know. He'd love another Gobundance member, or 4 or 5 Gobundance members to go up the back way. And again, it's the same thing. Some people say it's better. You're still camping. You're still hiking. The elevation is the same. The only difference is we meet you at the top, and then you cruise down with us and party in the town afterwards. And the whole time up to that, you're with us. So please reach out to Steve at Aspiring Adventures, or get a hold of Pat Cullinane on the Facebook page, because he is definitely looking for at least one other, if not several, to join him on the back route.
Okay, and just so we know, Pat, what's the cost to that for members?
The cost is the exact same for Plan B as Plan A, and it was like $5,500, I think, and then
I think that's right.
$7,500 for non-members and $5,500 for members.
Got it. Hey, speaking of cost, I missed the cost on the Denver trip. That's $1,500 for members and $2,500 for non-members, and I think that's a great bargain for that. So for Denver's 1,500 for members. Sign up for that. One other thing that's not on this list, and we had somebody write in with a question. We do still have a Northern California abalone trip. That's our NorCal Tribes regional trip. But if anybody from outside wants to join us, that is a possibility. So if you do have an interest in that, please just send me an email direct, and I can hook you up for that. And that's in Mendocino. We've actually expanded the days. You can come as short as from the 7th to the 9th, or if you want to hang out longer, we will be there from the 6th to the 10th of August. And that California, Mendocino, abalone diving, mountain biking, fishing, and hiking, and that also is a family-friendly trip. We encourage families to come to that. Okay, so the next one on the list is the after Machu Picchu September is Rock Thomas Pre-Framing Montreal, and then that's on September 14th. And then we're doing the monthly member call on accountability centered on H-Define Health, and that's with myself and Mike McCarthy, and that's on September 21st. And then the next event we have is Rock Thomas's Montreal event. And that one is, there's 25 to 30 spots. That's the good news. The bad news is 10 to 15 have already put down deposits. So that's like half sold out. It's in picturesque North Montreal mountains. They're going to be doing Formula One racing or exotic car racing. And that's with Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Corvette Stingrays. You get to race these cars around a track. They're also going to have a paintball tournament. And boy, keep Aitchison away from that one. I could see Aitchison and Schwager. That'd be hilarious. Anyway, that sounds like I could imagine our Gobundance crew with paintball guns. So anyway, that is all inclusive except your flights. $16.95 for members, $24.95 for non-members. Okay, and that's the Montreal trip. And then we have our monthly member accountability call in October with Rock Thomas and Mark Yagi. And then we have our West Coast One Life Fully Lived conference in Sacramento. And guys, that one is going to be special. We're rolling out something new with One Life we'll be telling you about later in the year. I'm very excited about that. Please put that on your calendars and plan to join us in Sacramento for One Life Fully Lived conference. And then I'm skipping the elders one because that one's just the elders. And then we're doing interviewing an author on H-Define Health. Pat, do we have that person lined up yet?
Okay, so there's a book called Food Rules, and that's going to be our book prior to that. But no, we do not have the author lined up yet.
Got it. Okay.
That's actually September 15th, but that's okay.
Okay. And then we have the interview an author in late November, and we'll have more details on that as we come up on it. Pat, do you want to tell them about the couples retreat you're running in December 4th through 6th?
Yep, and I'll touch on the Age-Defying Health in Philly as well. So if you see November 13th through 16th, what we have is basically, it's in downtown Philly. So if you haven't visited, Philadelphia, the land of brotherly love, it's a great opportunity to see the city. We will not be taking any side trips to the Liberty Bell or any of the historic crap. So if you want to do that or run Rocky, maybe we'll wake you up in the middle of the night and run Rocky Steps, but the steps of the Art Museum. But anyways, let me get to the point. So what we're going to do is going to be a complete vegan immersion. So I know a lot of you guys have done the juicing and that sort of thing, but we're gonna go full in. It's going to be from the day you get there to the day you leave. It's going to be complete vegan immersion. We're going to have gourmet chefs cook all kinds of incredible food for us. Every meal is going to be gourmet vegan food and juices. We have hired nursing staff to do about, I'll just say anywhere from 10 to 20 different diagnostic tests on every member. we have commissioned the Bod Pod, which is a $70,000 machine that basically you lay inside of, and it measures body fat and that sort of thing. It's if you read the reviews, it's probably the most accurate body fat machine there is. Most body fat machines, you stand on one and you're 16, and then the next day you stand on another and you're 23, and it doesn't make any sense. So we have the Bod Pod. We have an acupuncturist. If you've never had acupuncture before, every member that comes gets a free session with an acupuncturist. You get about 50 needles stuck in you. And we have a masseuse and a chiropractor. And to top it off, we have guest speakers. We have we don't have them exactly booked yet, but our thought is to try to either have a nutritionist, or, as some people have noticed, a sex therapist, which I think would be really cool. So we would have a sex therapist or nutritionist, and the second night we would have a personal trainer or somebody about the physical body. And the main event is we are running the Spartan Mini. Now, what this is the Spartan race comes in 3 categories. Last year we ran the Spartan Ultra or something. It was 8 miles. This one is only 3 miles. This is an introductory Spartan race, but it's still no joke. It is held in the Philadelphia Phillies baseball stadium. So they've rented out the entire stadium, and you basically race, and it's every man for themselves. Last year we tried to do this no man left behind thing, and within 15 minutes Osborne freaking broke that rule, and then we all ended up going balls out. So we decided this year just to go, starting gate goes and you just start running. So you run up and down the steps, you go up to the bleachers, you do a whole bunch of different obstacles, and you just basically get beat up over a 3.1. It's a 5K, so it's 3.1 miles with, I think, 30 or 25 obstacles. So it takes a couple hours. And then we walk back to the hotel, and we mix in all the other things that I mentioned. And I think I pretty much covered that. It's $1,890 or something for a member, $2,900 for non-members, and it's basically the most focused you'll be on your health and longevity in a long time, in a great place. And then in December we have Harvell Hendrix. If you've heard of Harvell Hendrix, he has been on Oprah Winfrey more times than any other marriage relationship guy. Dr. Phil doesn't count because he's more of a shrink. But Harvell Hendrix is a relationship. Him and his wife have a business where they do relationship coaching. And obviously, if Oprah thinks highly enough to have him on 18 different times, the guy's got the goods. So he rented out it's kind of like a yoga sort of holistic retreat in the middle of the woods in Massachusetts. It's about 3 hours outside of Boston, Massachusetts, and 2 hours outside of New York City. So you would fly into either of those metropolitan areas. It's just him and his wife, and they just immerse you over the weekend in communicating and how to have an incredibly powerful relationship. And the good part about it is it's him and her, so everybody feels comfortable that there's a woman running it and there's a man running it, and it's not one-sided. And that one we're just and that's a great deal. That one, rather than convolute it because we don't know how much time we're actually going to have to eat and do things on our own. You just pay the fee direct to Harvell Hendrix, which is $350, so it's a no-brainer per person, and you just get there, and that's going to be great. That's we're looking forward to that. And we had at the Tahoe event, we had 10 people already give $100 towards that. So, And that's
Great,
it.
Pat. How many people can go to that one?
You know, I think they have 100 or so spots, Tim, and I don't even know if they've started taking reservations yet. But I would say if we fill up the whole thing, 100. But
Okay,
I
so
don't
there's.
know, I don't know how hard it's going to be.
Got it. All right. So the last thing on our list of fun things for 2015 is a year-end goal setting with David and Rock, and they did an incredible job on that last year. So as you can see, we have a very eventful year of incredible events for you. I'm going to blow through real quick our webinars we have for you, and then we'll wrap this up. So Eric, can you please put on the webinars? And while he's doing that, if you're interested in any of these trips, if you want more information on it, you might contact who it said is running the trip. And if you're ready to sign up, just get a hold of Heather at Gobundance, and she will set you up on that. We're also going to be sending you out a list of all the trips with more in-depth information in the next week or so. So this is our webinar schedule. We have the recap we're on now. There's the 1-800-JUNK guy on May 27th. Check it out. This is one of our surprises. We got Kiyosaki on a National Cash Flow and Financial Literacy Night. That's Robert Kiyosaki, Matt Aitchison, and Rock Thomas. And we're going to partner with One Life Fully Lived and have a dual webinar. So that should be incredible, you guys. After that, we have a tax avoidance panel with Mark Yagi, Matt Aitchison, and David Osborne, as well as a tax avoidance expert. We're always trying to help you find ways, you know, to add value to you know, for your cost of membership. And this is, I think, an exceptional way to do that. That's a can't miss webinar. We're going to have David Osborne, Pat Hyben, and Paul Morris talking multiple horizontal income streams in August. We're going to have my good buddies from Play Bigger Advisors, Chris Lockhead and Al Ramadan. They're writing a book called The Category King, and this is how do you separate yourself from the competition? How do you become the Uber or the Southwest Airlines of whatever industry you're in? That's a can't miss one. Then we're working on Nina Heller with a extreme health fitness workshop in October, and our good friend Mark Yagi is going to do a powerful presentation workshop, which will be a precursor to a full day workshop he'll be doing in Tahoe for us. So a couple other that we're working on but not yet confirmed yet are Stephen Kotler, who wrote the book The Rise of Superman. He also wrote a book called Bold and another one called Abundance. Please Google those books, get them, and Kotler's a classic. We will have him on. And then we have my good friend Mark McKee is going to be on for another Flipper Horizontal Income Mastermind. And Haas Pratt, Becoming a Thought Leader, and How to Publish Your Own Book, How Our. Those are some of the ones we're working on but have not been confirmed yet. So anyway, you guys, I think you can see, so somebody asked me the other day, well, why should I join Gobundance? What do you guys do besides this Tahoe thing I heard such great things about? You can see we've got a lot in store. I know you're all very, very busy people. We all are. But try to make a few of these more boutique, smaller trips. You're going to find the more you do with this tribe, the more you come out of it juiced to play your life big. And one last thing before we let you go is if you are not a part of a mastermind group and you want to be a part or want to join one, please get a hold of Mike McCarthy and I. Mike and I are going to be heading up the mastermind division, and our goal is to have all of us in some sort of regional mastermind. So here's the deal. In closing, go on some of our boutique trips, get to know the tribe better, join a local mastermind. As Matt Aitchison talked about, get a hold of, I think he said he's talked to 20 different people since Tahoe. Think about that, guys. How many have you talked to? How many of your Gobundance tribe members have you talked to since Tahoe? So get on the phone, send them an email. We are one big family tribe. We know that Facebook page is very active. And the last word I'll leave you with before I turn it over for Pat to say goodbye is grab life big Gobundance tribe members. Pat, what do you got to close us out?
I'll tell you what, Tim, this was a great call. Thank you for putting it together. Thank you, Eric, for the incredible IT. This went off without a hitch. I'm just excited to be part of this 88-person team here that is just taking on a life of its own and just becoming such an amazing benefit to so many people. So I encourage you, if you're not on the Facebook page, to get in there and start paying attention to the questions people are asking, the conversations that people are having, and take full advantage of that. It's 100% private. Only members of Gobundance that are paying members get to be in there and get to see what's in there and talk amongst each other in there. And I encourage you to do what you can to get on some of these events. I mean, they're just incredible. Even if you just do one, your life will be dramatically different. If you did 2 of these this year, it would be absolutely phenomenally different. And I know some people like Matt Etchison and others are planning on doing 3 or 4, as I myself will be on 4 of them. So anyways, Tim, thanks for help organizing this and putting it together. This has been just great.
Yep, and I lied. I got 2 more things to say. I want to thank our special guests, Matt Aitchison and Gary Jonas. You guys did a wonderful job. You helped us bring value to our members. And all of you, go hug your families and just give them a special hug from a great vibe from your Gobundance group. And all I can say, brothers, is grab life big. Let's all have an exceptional month, and we'll be talking to you next month. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Close us out, Eric.